In case you missed it, the evidence files from King Von's murder case have just been made public. Among the documents, there's even a dedicated section featuring the statements of the man responsible for Von's death, revealing his own words directed at Von.
Like, shit, I was just protecting my little brother.
When you did finally find out that it was King Von who did it, how'd you feel?
I was like, damn, if Brian did that stupid shit last night, he still would have been alive. That's how I was. But I was like, shit, I ain't no the type person I am. Like, I'm a humble person. I ain't no disrespect to like his mama saying f*** him and shit like that. Cause I could easily get on that type of stuff and be clout chasing type. Like, I ain't on that type. I'm a humble person, but it's like, they ain't never popped that shit off. That would have never happened like that.
The evidence files also included the same man, Lol Tim, disclosing what King Von's final words were. But beyond that, the documents exposed some gaps in the whole murder case. Even King Von's cousin Bau voiced suspicions, saying there was something off about the night it all went down.
Security guard let him walk. You get paid he get paid to protect. How the f you let him walk over? In fact, you ain't supposed to let him fight. He ain't supposed to be touching nobody. Security guard, if anything, you make sure Quando them leave. Whoever else they was with, you make sure they leave. How you let him walk over somebody that's the reason y'all here, the reason everybody in this parking lot here, because this man right here making the money and y'all his entourage. But that security guard, it's something fishy with him. That's why he deleted his Instagram. I definitely feel like it's foul play. I don't know where it's coming from, but I definitely feel like it's some weird shit going on.
This came as a reaction to the recently released body cam footage, where chaos unfolds. People are panicking, screaming, and confused about what's happening, while Van's bodyguards stand by, seemingly doing nothing to protect him.
No. Yo, you sit over here. You sit over here, brother. Yo, you better watch out. Hey, brother. This is my brother, bro. Okay? Hey, come on, chill. Come with me, okay? Okay. You, get out the car. Out the car. Okay?
Calm down, he's
Get out the car.
I gotta go to the hospital, my leg.
Yeah, we gonna get you out.
They said, yeah, we're going to get you to the hospital. And this whole moment went viral online. Soon after, a flood of evidence started surfacing, sparking conversations like, there are so many holes in King Von's passing. If you dig deep, you'll see it. Some even speculated that Von might have faked his own death, given all the murder cases he was about to face. After King Von's death, Von was linked to the top role in FBG Duck's murder, reportedly paying Oblak members $100,000 in diamond chains as a hit completion bonus, plus involvement in several other Chicago cases, as detailed in The Trap. Lore Ross King Von documentary. Meanwhile, close associates tweeted that Van survived 2 surgeries, woke up screaming for his firearm, then went into shock and eventually passed away. He only had 1 surgery left, and Von had already made it through his. Van had 3 surgeries left to go and had already made it through 2. After his 2nd surgery, he suddenly jumped off the hospital bed, started fighting with a nurse, and demanded to know where his gun was. Shortly after, he went into shock. The nurse later shared that even Van's mother wasn't aware of what was happening inside the hospital, because she was there the whole time. This dramatic moment ties directly into the newly released King Von murder case files, which reveal more details about that night. The case files reveal that Von was still alive after being shot and even while at the hospital. But with this new information coming to light, many are left wondering, how did Bowie know to look for a firearm that Von never actually had? During an interview 2 years ago, Von woke up startled, searching for a gun that wasn't there. The whole situation with King Von raises serious questions. There was no reason for Von to be in that situation with that person, especially since he had security. Someone should have stepped in. It should never have escalated like that. After everything, it feels like the team should have been more prepared, especially in Chicago. It's a sad, confusing situation, and honestly, it's weighing heavily on everyone involved. King Von was well aware of the dangers that came with his life in Oblak, and on the night of November 5th, 2020, as he prepared for his album release party in Atlanta, he took extreme precautions. Planning what was meant to be a grand celebration of his success, Von assembled a formidable security detail, including 20 personal guards and 15 to 20 Oblak members spread across 8 vehicles. Even his manager, 100K Track, highlighted the intensity of these security measures. Despite all this protection, the night ended in tragedy, exposing the many holes and complexities in the story surrounding his death. King Von's manager, 100K Track, explained the heavy security measures Von took seriously. Von traveled with at least one dedicated security guard, plus 2 more close protectors, often moving in a convoy of about 8 to 10 cars with a total entourage of 20 to 25 people. His security team wasn't just hired muscle, they were people who genuinely cared for and protected him. Despite the celebrations going well at the album release party, something strange happened later that night. While everyone else was enjoying themselves, Von suddenly withdrew to a side room in the club and began making calls on his cell phone, acting unusually distant from the festivities. It's rumored that King Von started receiving text messages from an NBA YoungBoy affiliate named Quando Rondo around 2:30 a.m. As Von and his entourage began leaving the club, everyone else expected to head back to the usual spots, the Airbnb or the hotel. However, Von had other plans and didn't tell anyone. While the group thought they were following the normal routine, Von secretly directed his driver to a different club, one that wasn't getting paid for and was unknown to the rest of his team. This decision was made solely by Von, separate from the rest of the crew who were already heading to the Airbnb. King Von's decision to head to the Monaco Lounge alone was the first of many that ultimately led to his death. While the rest of the crew was driving to the Airbnb, Von went to the venue by himself. Later, the people in Von's car realized they were alone and called the others to find out where Von and his team were. Von's DJ even texted, "Hey bro, we're here by ourselves. Where are you guys at?" Once the rest of the team learned of the change in plans, they quickly made U-turns and started driving to the Monaco Lounge to catch up with Von. However, the delay and the split in the group set the stage for what was to come. Once Von's manager arrived at the Monaco Lounge, he immediately sensed something was wrong. Von was unusually quiet, sitting alone in the corner of his Escalade with his hood up, staring at his phone. While Von's crew prepared to enter the club, he didn't move from his seat for about 30 to 35 minutes. This behavior was strange for someone known to be one of the best artists, always full of energy. Concerned, Von's manager, 100K Track, went over to check on him. Eventually, Von agreed to go inside, but due to the club's rules, his crew had to leave their firearms in their cars. To ensure safety, they initially sent security personnel inside to scout the area. When 100K Track returned to the car, he found Von still sitting quietly in the passenger seat, prompting him to ask, "Yo Von, what's going on?" Everyone was waiting for Von to move, and when he finally said, "All right, let's go," they told security it was time to enter the club since they had been waiting too long. The crew checked the venue inside and out to ensure it was safe, but the real danger was outside in the parking lot, where rapper Quando Rondo was parked with some of his gang members, trying to get some rest. One of Von's security guards, tasked with checking the parking lot, spotted Quando sleeping in his car and informed Von, asking if he knew Quando was there. Just before entering the club, one of Von's friends came to the car and said, "Hey, so-and-so's here," signaling the tense atmosphere and hinting at the trouble that was about to unfold. And Von immediately jumped up, saying, "Oh, come on, let's go." King Von reacted instantly, jumping out of the truck to confront Quando Rondo, with clear texts exchanged between them just before. Von's team tried to calm him down and prevent a scene, but it didn't stop him. King Von went around to the front of the white vehicle and immediately started swinging at Quando. By the time Von jumped out of the car, the confrontation had already escalated. I don't even think King Von knew where so-and-so was. He just jumped out of the car, bumped into him, and immediately they started brawling. Only a few seconds into the fight, Quando Rondo's best friend, Lil Tim, came around the backside of the white car with a firearm and fired multiple times at King Von, hitting him several times in the body while trying to protect his friend. King Von's manager was also hit once in the leg. Some of Van's crew members, who were still armed, quickly retaliated, forcing Lil Tim to fall to the ground just a few feet away. But things got even crazier as gunshots echoed through the area. There were 2 off-duty officers working security nearby. Just down the street, an on-duty officer arrived from another direction, and soon several others pulled up to the scene. On a 3-2-1 count, they unleashed multiple rounds into the chaotic area, tragically hitting and killing one of King Von's gang members. During this chaos, Von lay in the middle of the street, clutching onto Quando as a shield. However, some believe that it was actually Quando holding Von down, trying to snatch his chain. Whether Quando was trying to take Van's chain or not remains unclear, but from what people closer to the situation said, Von didn't have any jewelry on at the time. Von was actually holding on to Quando tightly, like, "Man, you ain't going. Nowhere," showing how strong he was even while injured. He was literally gripping him hard. Once the gunfire died down and the chaos settled, the real race to save King Von's life began. His closest and best friend, Mu, ran right into the middle of the street, knocking Quando out of the way, picking up Von, and trying to get him into the getaway car. Meanwhile, Quando and his crew left in the white vehicle, picking up Lil Tim and helping him into the back seat. Van's team was doing the same, doing everything they could to help their injured friends. Mu got King Von into the getaway car, despite Von being hit 4 times. Remarkably, Von was conscious the entire drive. The members riding with him shared his last words, revealing how Von tried to keep everyone's spirits up, reassuring them he'd be okay. One of them said, "I myself wasn't there, but the gentleman in the car was panicking, and Von was the one saying, 'Hey, calm down, slow down, chill. I'm going to be good. Just get me to the hospital.'" Honestly, from the way he was carrying himself during that drive, everyone still held on to hope that he might pull through. What I was told by the people in the car is that King Von might have survived if he had made it to the hospital in time. Unfortunately, after arriving, he was rushed into surgery, but sadly passed away during the operation. The news of his death shook the entire rap industry, as Von was once known as Chicago's most fearless and dangerous gang member. His passing made national headlines, with officials confirming that Von was one of 3 people involved in a physical altercation that escalated into a shooting. Standing here now, I see this picture of Levon, of Von, and I know there are many rivals around this area, so I'm showing you all where I am. But it makes me wonder, why is this black truck still parked right here? Yeah, that truck definitely looks suspicious just sitting there like that. Could be someone watching the Y area or maybe linked to what went down. You think it's connected to the whole situation?